Andy, I mean, it's not a surprise. They run a Lycan, like for example in this strat, Lycan is one of those heroes. He doesn't really care. Like you can pressure him on the lane, sure. All he needs is levels, and then eventually he's gonna go jungle, give the lane to the support, and he's gonna his farm is gonna skyrocket no matter what.
And the Roshan advantage is like doesn't matter because the game's gonna be over too fast.
Yeah, and I mean that they know that they're gonna pressure, and they're gonna be able to get Roche when they decide to, because they're gonna be leading. Navi is very aggressive, so it's like they're gonna win fights, take towers, and get Roche when they want to. They don't want to sneak Roche. Like Roshan advantage is an advantage because of the positioning. So it's like you could get it before they actually realize. And we actually saw it from Diggity. Like they lost the fight to Roche, but then as soon as they respawn, they're closer to it. They have vision around it, so they sneaked into the Roche pit and they stole it away from Navi. Let's say. So that works because they're dire. But Navi doesn't. They don't really care. They probably favor laning and the mid lane as well. That explains it. They probably have a plan behind it, obviously.
Okay, I think they have a plan behind their next game as well. They actually opened with the same pick as No Diggity did previous game, and likewise as well, we have the same bans from both teams. We have for No Diggity, they banned out the Chen and Enchantress, with the Lone Druid and Void banned out by Na'Vi, but Beastmaster again on the dire side, and Invoker again on the Radiant side.
Oh, you sure as hell don't want to give Dendi the Invoker again.
Yeah,
that is
for that game, No Diggity chose Radiant.
For this game, No Diggity chose Radiant.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, for example, you choose Radiant and then you get Invoker. It makes a lot of sense. Invoker is one of those heroes mid that can be very strong if he gets ahead and gets good levels and good laning phase, but he's also very squishy and easy to kill. Especially Quas Exhort Invoker. He doesn't have points in Wax and he's not very tanky. So it makes a lot of sense. This is okay, I just want to highlight something. This is very classic in competitive Dota, where you beat a team and then you pretty much draft their lineup and beat them again.
Yep.
So it's like, there's no doubt, you know, it's not, you weren't outpicked, so it was nothing about draft. We're just better, but you break their spirit kind of, you know, and it's done a lot by some drafters.
You just kick a dog when it's down.
I'm just gonna pick your composition now and beat you with it again. So
it's only
there's
a
no
best
doubt.
of two. They have nothing to prove.
Yeah, exactly. In that case, it's not the point at all. But in tournaments, you actually see it sometimes.
There's money on the line.
Yeah.
That's true. $1,000 a game.
But in tournaments, you see it sometimes. But it's yeah, what you said. You're thinking of the next round.
So you're telling me it's on purpose? Because I always thought it was a coincidence.
It happens sometimes.
It
Really?
happens quite a bit, I feel.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were so savage on both these teams.
The bans are exactly the same for both teams, except for the Lycan ban and the Venge ban.
Yes.
On the side of No Diggity.
Bat and Brood were banned out last time on the side of No Diggity,
Yeah.
but since they have already got the Beastmaster now, I feel like they don't need to ban any offlane.
Exactly. They were targeting the restricted offlane pool.
Yeah,
In that case,
from
obviously, it doesn't make any sense because it's most likely Beastmaster offlane. Invoker Bane, same type of combo, by the way. Like the sleep into Sunstrike. It's less reliable than Disruption because the Sunstrike delay makes it that someone can unsleep you, but it's a very good combo as well. Like Bane has very good setup spells, Nightmare, his old Fiend's Grip, so great Sunstrike targets. So it's a bit of the same. And on Navi's side, Beastmaster OD, well, again, like No Diggity didn't reveal much, but Navi did already reveal quite a lot in how they want to play the game, because as we said, those two heroes, they lack damage, ODBs. They don't want to fight too early. They're very scary in the mid game and in the late game, but they don't want to fight too early.
Now there's a hero we don't see that much these days. Why the Doom pick?
It's for sure targeted against OD. You just doom the OD, and then the hero is useless, completely useless. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like you have carries that, even though you doom them, they still do damage. They have good base damage, etc. OD is not one of them. OD doomed, you need to kite and wait for the doom cooldown, unless you can fight well the OD. But it's like most of the time it's not the case.
Yeah. So they're looking to just eliminate him from the team fights, and they're assuming that he's going to be their big thorn in the side.
I would assume it's a position for Doom. I don't know. It could be anything else, but
Yapzor does play it.
Yeah, it's a Yapzor hero, and they banned the Potom and the Enigma. I don't know. It feels weird when you target a player like this. You ban two heroes. Banning Enigma, I get it, because it's a hero that's very interesting. Like it brings a lot to the game. But banning Potom is very random. I think if you ban Potom, it's more they're like, well, he can only play Potom Enigma, so we're gonna ban his heroes, and then he's kind of have a smaller impact. But I think it's a mistake. I don't think he can only play Potom Enigma. He's a great player, and he can play many other heroes, and they might realize it right now. So I don't like those two bans. Enigma ban, I think it's good, but banning the bottom like this seems a bit random to me.
We saw No Diggity play bottom on last Thursday, and I think he didn't miss a single hero, a single arrow.
He hit every single arrow.
I mean, maybe he's like that good that they need to ban it.
Maybe they're like a threat.
Yeah,
like,
sure, could be.
I guess it's a random threat that you don't want to deal with.
Sure.
On lanes.
All right, Lina picked up another hero that we see sometimes, but not too often.
Good with the OD. Astrid is a great setup for the Lina stun, and this is I like this better. For the, like comparing, No Diggity picked Venge at that stage, and you need burst damage with those heroes. Like that's what I was saying before the other game. Like you roar someone, that target needs to die. Because they really lack damage last game. Now it's better already. They have a lot of burst damage in the Lina. So that's going to help a lot for Na'Vi. I prefer... The lineup seems more balanced to me like this than it was for Diggity in the first game.
I have to agree with you there. All right, well, we got some more picks here. No Diggity looking for a nice pick to round things out. What are they missing here, guys?
It's hard to say because we don't really know where the Doom is going to go.
I guess Doom is not your typical era hero. But normally they save Era's hero for last, which I guess in this case they do again with the Darkseer pack.
This could be scary. Like Doom Darcy offlane sounds like a nightmare for the OD. I don't think you can run OD on the safe lane anymore.
Sounds like a nightmare. There's a bait in the team.
Great job, man.
Also, but they instantly picked Oracle. Like we saw Saneko's Oracle previous game. He might not be as flashy as Arcel Shadow Demon because obviously he was the talk of the game last game, but he did really well.
This is answer to the Darcy.
Yeah.
Actually, might actually have been a mistake from No Diggity because now the Darkseer has no other choice than jungle. He can't do anything. Like he's just gonna remove every shield.
Right, that's one thing that I learned in this tournament. You purge off the Iron Shell, and then what do you do as Darkseer? You jungle? You
have to jungle.
You do the LC jungle, huh? The worthless jungle.
Doom is already in the jungle.
No, he's just going to be poking in and eating guys. He's just going to go in for some chicken and come back to his lane.
The Darkseer wants to kill.
No. Yeah.
Actually, this is a bit tricky for No Diggity. I think they had really good lanes. They could have pressured Na'Vi heavily, but now they can't anymore because of the Oracle pick.
So why the Drow ban there? Is Drow really going to be doing that much to the lineup? I mean, the silence is nice.
Well, we're mentioning damage. Well, Drow is definitely one of those heroes that turns any lineup into a damage lineup. Like, for sure, you pick Drow, then suddenly damage is not an issue at all. So I think Drow could have been a really good pick for Na'Vi. It's a good ban. I like it. But yeah, I'm still thinking about the lanes for No Diggity because now they're not going to be able to pressure the OD anymore, which is a shame.
What if you put Darkseer in the jungle and Doom on the offlane?
Yeah, sure, but he's going to get destroyed there.
Okay.
He's going to face like OD, Oracle, or whatever hero they want to pick, really. And then they're just going to pressure him a lot. It seems like they think that it's actually a Lina...
Lina core?
Yeah, Lina support.
Lina support.
Yeah, they assume it's an OD mid and the Lina support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure about it. I think it's a Lina core.
Slorky Malaki.
Yeah, it's a good Slark game for sure. It's a very good Slark game, and Slark Darkseer is a very scary combo.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to have that Slark with Iron Shield on you running at. It just gives him the damage that he needs to solo kill people.
And secure that early game too. I mean, it's a lot of damage. Slark is I mean, they got a lot of burst though to kind of deal with that on Na'Vi though. I mean,
they do, but they have single target heroes, and it's heroes that can't deal with Slark. He just ultis and then you can't do anything against him. They have the Lina stun that's pretty reliable.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but that's basically it, honestly. Like, besides Lina, all of their heroes are actually awful against Slark, so it's a great pick. And he's gonna find pickoffs so easily because he's gonna have the Darkseer damage input, then he's gonna have the Sunstrike on the target he goes on. He's gonna find kills for sure with Slark. It's a very good Slark game.
So last pick for Na'Vi, what do you reckon?
I would assume that it is a support, but honestly, I'm not sure. I think it's a art style hero or Oracle.
Anyone but Dazzle, please. No Dazzle.
Spectre.
Not at all. So it's a Lina support.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, they feel like that they can get away with the greedy carry because they have the Oracle versus Darkseer, and that their offlane is not gonna get pressured. And Spectre is great versus both like Slark and Invoker. He gets on top of them instantly, and it's a great pick for sure, but it's very greedy.
It's a bit greedy though. I mean, they have a lot of early game down there on Diggity, and if the early game goes bad, that Spectre's going to be in a real bad spot.
Yep.
I want to hear it, guys. How bad of a spot are they going to be at? Who is going to take this second game of the series? Who is going to take home another $1,000?
This is probably the toughest prediction I think that we've had. I mean, both teams, they have a lot going for them, and they have a lot of things that could go wrong. Gonna have to go for Navi still. I don't know. Spectre's OP. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Navi 2-0 as well.
If I'm right with him, I'm good.
You got Matt on your side.
I can't guarantee we're gonna be right, but it's my prediction.
Guess
that's for
what
sure.
I'm gonna say, guys?
You can't come on the train. You gotta be off the boat. One of us has to be.
That's why I'm off the boat. I'm once again the devil's advocate.
Yeah, sure.
The devil's advocate returns.
Returns. That's me. So yeah, let's find out if I'm gonna be wrong or if I'm gonna be right. So
Great transition, Stever. Well done.
I'm gonna just wait to see how far the camera can go up before I go up to our comments. No, let's go up to our commentators. It is time for game 2. Navi, no Diggity with Draskell and OD Pixel.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the casting desk. We are ready to get ourselves into Navi versus No Diggity Game 2 and the action is already underway, so let's shoot ourselves straight in. And Andy, well, what have we got? Well, 2 last picks, a Slark for No Diggity, a Spectre for Navi. I mean, what's the dealio here? Obviously, they're starting to switch around. They've got the Coifer Invoker that I talked about in Game 1, arguably can be just as strong as Dendy's, but who's got the overall better draft in your eyes?
It's really hard, actually, because I think that if the game goes late, No Diggity actually have a pretty decent chance.
Yeah.
But Navi just showed such a strong performance in the early game pressure in Game 1 that I feel like if they have the same kind of start where they're just getting these kills and you get an opening with your Dendy Imprisonment and you get a couple of kills on Art Style as well, it can get really out of control really quickly. But at the same time, it's like Seb said, the Spectre pick is greedy. So No Diggity have this mid-game timing where they can pressure. So we'll see if they're able to capitalize. I guess I didn't really answer your question. I do think that Navi probably have a better chance. Okay. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, going on that Spectre, obviously you hear that it's kind of the bane of pubs still, but in competitive, it isn't that frequent of a pick. And as you were saying to me many times, it's because generally pro teams can deal with pressuring the Spectre early on and just not allowing her to get out of control. So as you said, it's a greedy pick, and do you feel that this is just kind of Navi going off the fact that Game 1 they felt that they did outplay No Diggity, so they feel that they can go for this kind of greedier carry position?
I think it's part of it. I also think the fact that if you have one core against Doom, where it's like Seb said, if you Doom the hero, he's useless on OD. So you can pick something else that has kind of that ridiculous late game presence like a Spectre and force the Doom to choose who he wants to go for.
Yes.
And then you're having 2 heroes who you really want to Doom, and that used to be one of the strategies, is you would pick multiple cores against the hero, because you obviously can't Doom them all. You can only throw it out onto one. And that could be kind of a similar reasoning as to why you would want to go for something very late game oriented like a Spectre, but just seeing the fact that they had the Darkseer and the Oracle counter to it does mean that the safe lane is not going to really feel too much pressure. I mean, they're not even bringing Yapser up here. He's just full jungle.
I mean that really is the thing, the fact that because of this Oracle DS counter, as you said, Spectre's there's going to be a point where DiG should have total free farm, unless they have rotations coming in from No Diggity, but as you said, that with their lineup, that's not necessarily the easiest thing to do in the earlier stages of the game.
Yeah, it's like trading off. So instead of having that greedy Enigma jungle, they have the Doom jungle.
Yes.
Which is still greedy in its own sense. But because it is a safe lane Spectre, they know that there's probably not going to be too much early movement out of that lane. It'll typically just be Art Style looking for maybe some pressure onto mid, which is what we've seen so far. Yeah. So the only thing that No Diggity really lose out on is the fact that Koikva is going to be pressured more, and there's not really anything that No Diggity can do in response unless they want to move Yapser over there. Because I think that if Synderen leaves this bottom lane, Slark is a notoriously weak laner as well. So they pretty much have to just farm the Doom as much as they can. Koikva's going to have to suffer a bit because no one can help him.
I mean, you're saying a bit, but looking at the CS,
yeah,
I mean, it's pretty disastrous here with this Invoker at the moment, but I guess that is expected. OD versus Invoker, OD's going to come out on top, and
well, it's a 2v1.
Lena. Yeah,
it's pretty much a 2v1 because Navi have recognized the weakness in the lanes.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that No Diggity have a jungler and Navi just have regular laning heroes, they can just abuse mid. Because, like I said, Yapsor can't just walk down mid and really do much. Yeah, you can turn on Scorched Earth and run at them, which he might do to relieve Koikva a little bit at some point. But other than that, a Bane's not going to set up for a kill in this lane. It's not going to happen. So even though, yeah,
I mean, he could be in trouble. I guess, yeah, Yapzor is going to be enough to hold them off, and Darkstar a little bit too premature with the stun, and he could be in trouble. The purple ball's coming through, and Yapzor
running at them with Scorched Earth, boys.
It works out. It works out, yeah. Great play from the side. We were saying that he was struggling, and something like that can just really step up Quake's game. And not that it really should be that much of an issue for no Diggity, because we've seen so many games where Quake struggles in the laning stage, but he still comes back to win the game.
I think it was just Na'Vi trying to go in when they didn't really have the vision. Like, they have one ward high ground, but it doesn't really see into the jungle at all. It pretty much only sees when the Doom enters the lane anyway, which is daytime. You would see that regardless. So just a little bit over aggressive. I don't really think that they had to go for the kill, but maybe they felt like they should be getting more out of their lane and not just being satisfied with the fact that Quakefa had like a fifth of the CS of Dendi, which I would have been more than okay with at that stage, but they get punished a bit.
I mean, look at Kezi's Darks here as well on this top lane at the moment. Of course, understandably, he hasn't found the CS. He's only found 5 last hits because of the Oracle, but at the same time, he has managed to find levels. He is level 4. I mean, obviously, in terms of getting the XP gain, it's working out, but is there a point on which you say, right, you do need a bit of farm and then you do have to back off to the jungle, or will Kezi stay up here and just continue to soak up XP?
I think 4 minutes against Oracle is not too bad, to be honest. Like, you can...
But he's not going to have to farm.
Yeah, he's not going to have a tremendous amount of farm, but just getting the levels is okay, because you can have like Yapzor rotate up eventually and soak the lane, and he can sit there pretty safely, and then you can just farm up your mech if you want, if you feel like it's getting to a stage in the game where you're just not getting enough gold. So we'll see if they want to make that rotation eventually, but all things considered, it's not too bad, getting that early kill or the first blood even, and then Quakefest still doing, he's doing better, not doing great, but in a lane where there's been so much time spent there from art style, it's not really too much of a shock. And then I guess you kind of have to compare it to what General's doing too, right? Because we're looking at, Kezu and saying that he's not having a really good time, but he's sitting a little bit behind General, which I don't feel is too bad. The biggest thing is he actually has a support committed to holding him back that can actually kill, where I feel like the Darkseer has a really hard time dying in his lane, so...
Oh, no, yeah. Nice bit of pick off there, Arrow, able to just take himself 2 paws. And I mean, this is one thing I'm looking at as well. I mean, it looks like the Bane has just been enough to allow Arrow the space to free farm. I mean, a squishy melee core farming lane against a Beastmaster could be the recipe for disaster, but he's 35 for 11. I mean, Arrow, pretty much perfect CS at this point, and very close, of course, to the progression of Digiron, while mid lane, Dendi. He's getting gone on. We'll put the Fairy Fire Dukes out, the Sunstruck, and bottom lane, well, no Diggity are going to find themselves a kill. Great setup for Sin, Arrow in the jump in. He's level 6 now, he can afford to be that kind of aggressive. So Nekka's actually come through and they'll look to try and take Sind off on the side. He'll juke out the Light Strike Array. It's still going to get nuked down there by the Oracle. So we'll pay of his life. Error. Now coming over, seeing if he can find anything. In fact, top lane, Dendi cold snapped up. Will hold back the Doom there with the Astral, but Quakefa is going to continue to move forward. Sunstrike is going to be nearly on point. It doesn't matter. The right click flies through and they do get themselves the kill. I mean, 6 minutes in, 3 for 1. It's a great start for no Diggity.
The Sunstrike actually gave him vision to hit his last auto attack. That was intentional, man.
Yeah, he didn't want to hit it. Yeah. He just wanted to go for the vision play.
And that was really sick. But like you were mentioning, great early game so far. The fact that OD died in the first place and they dive on mid, Yapzor was there for the rotation. It's just, he seems to always do so much for his team. Even in a position where you're looking at his hero and you're like, okay, it's a jungle Doom. Okay? Like, yeah, you can run at people. It's all right, and he just makes it work. No matter what the position. This guy is like MVP almost every single game that I see him play for this team. It's insane.
I mean, even in the first game, he had a great start in the Spirit. He did start to fall off in a bit. He was missing a few stuns, but still, he was always in the right place at the right time. And as you said, the fact that 7 minutes in, he's just about got that level 6 on, and I mean, that might not be too impressive for someone that's going to sit in the jungle, but the fact is he hasn't. As you said, he's been over the map, he's been pressuring mid, and certainly keeping control of some of the lanes for the side. And, that's allowed just the fact that your Invoker is now a good 700 ahead of, the Invoker 700 ahead of the OD. The lane is in a much better place in 7.5 minutes, and he's got his Midas stun, which is, on a 1v1 with an OD, and the fact that he was dealing with a leaner art style at the start as well, that's great for Quakefa.
It's a fantastic recovery from this lane, where the first 2 or 3 creep waves for Quakefa was just pure suffering. He's going for a bait here.
And now the Doom, it actually dropped as well. There'll be a Horn from DiGity trying to look to turn this around. So it looks like Denny's going to be able to live through this one. Yapzor with the heal from the Scorch Up is going to be quite enough to Desolate, doing a lot. DiGity really going all in for this one. He's going to get it. He will get it. Now he gets himself out to the sideline. Sinner nearly able to set up something hostile. He's got Sunstrike. Not quite going to catch the Lina as she will retreat. So very, very ballsy play from DiGity, but it does pay off. They do get themselves the kill, and now General's coming in. He's got an Invis rune, he's got Roar as well. They'll drop a Sentry Sin. He's going to know it's coming through, but it's not enough to save him. The Roar's there, the burst as well from Snako. Na'Vi find themselves a second pick-off. So as we're seeing again, a bit like in the first game, when Na'Vi come together as a team, they are able to play around No Diggity very nicely in the mid lane, get themselves a couple of pick-offs, and the fact that DiGity was able to involve himself in one as well with that Horn.
Yeah, it's, you know, we were talking about this hero before we even started the show, and just saying how Spectre is just something that's so frustrating because it can always be there at every single fight, and the max dagger, max desolate build also means that you do a reasonable amount of damage with not even that much farm. And just realizing, you know, when to go at the proper times can be a great turnaround tool, and we just saw a perfect example of it right there. So Na'Vi just utilizing their lineup very well, trying to relieve some pressure here.
Actually, look at Error's build on the slot. What's he going for in terms of items this game? So he's got 1k on top of the tread, Tequila, the poor man. So.
I wonder if he goes back from. Yeah, I don't know if Midas is.
I would prefer to see him go for something like the Blink. Or do you think does he need to rush an earlier Silver Edge this game just to deal with the Spectre, or are you still looking to just save the Silver Edge for a later bit and going for other items on top of a potential Shadow Blade if you want to go that route to deal with the Spectre?
I don't think Shadow Blade is the item in this game because you're playing against a beast who's going to get book 3.
Yeah, that's true.
And then if they see you get a Shadow Blade, they're just going to push with sentries, and then all of a sudden your Shadow Blade is like literally useless. So if I honestly think he might buy a Midas because he has Doom on his team, right? So going late with Doom means that you know, one core is always going to be Doom.
He could be in trouble now with the vision from the Hawk. Error, if he gets roared, and it looks to be that case, General moves in, we'll get it out. They'll haunt it as well. DiGity wanting to join in the fun. We get the Shadow Dance off just in time, but the axes come through. General will be able to pick up the kill.
I think he might have actually been able to live there. If he didn't Dark Pact and just pounced away and like immediately TP'd, he might have gotten enough regen to live through the axes, because I'm pretty sure, that's a level 1 axe.
Yeah.
I think he actually messed up there and could have lived. Ah, well, stuff happens. When you're in the moment, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get hit by like a stun or something.
Yeah, like a light strike.
He was probably assuming,
probably
assuming Alina stun was coming in.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, that's the kills that Na'Vi needed. We did indeed see that Arrow sitting on a bit of gold as he was saving up, and he is top of the net worth.
Well, I don't think he's going Midas anymore.
Nah,
not after that death.
Knockback.
That was a pretty bad death. He lost quite a bit of gold.
Lost about 400 gold there, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really hard to itemize in this type of game because you kind of want to try to help your team fight, but at the same time, I feel like Slark is so susceptible to just getting destroyed early. Like, you get Laguna Bladed, that Lina's already level 6, you have OD, there's Beastmaster Roar. You have no save on your team except for a Nightmare. So if you mistime your Dark Pact and your Shadow Dance, you're just dead. They actually have a really good team at dealing with that hero. Well, at least right now. Like, once he gets tanky, the later the game goes,
then it's a great pick.
Yeah, then it's really good because you can't kill him anymore, and like the Roar duration or, you know, a support Laguna is not going to be enough, and then he just pops Shadow Dance and kills you. But early, he just gets wrecked.
Mid lane, see Dendi continuing to try and find the space here to farm. It's going to be interesting to see what he opts for. If it's going to be the same route as Quake last game, going for that Orchid. Or if we are going to see something a little bit more standard, maybe just get that Atos online. I mean,
I don't know if Atos is so good against. It's not really good against Sark, and it's not good against Darkseer.
That's true, yeah.
I think Orchid might be better, but Orchid doesn't give you any health, right? That's another concern. He needs to also be a little bit tanky, so maybe for that reason he might still pick up an Atos. It's a hard game when you're playing against Doom because your entire itemization has to change. It's like, okay, I need to be able to live through Doom, so do I just buy like, you know, a lot of people buy Lincolns, even in pub games now, who spam OD to play against that hero. Just because OD is more of an auto-attack type of hero, and just having the stats to stay alive and just being able to get, you know, more Arcane Orbs off increases your mana pool. It's like pretty decent, actually, all around for the hero. So maybe he goes back for that a little bit later.
Drums are now done here for DiGity, so already with his phase Drums Aquila build, he's going to be looking very good for fighting 12 minutes in. And it's going to be drums as well for Dendi. One of the other favourable items for the OD pickers nowadays. And Roshan also going to be looked into. They have, of course, got the Necro book out. They've got the auras and, of course, OD's right clicks with the Arcane Orb. They can give this a good shot.
So good for killing Roshan. It's so good for killing Rush. Yeah, this...
Well, then there's a chance for no Dig to even have a look in on this one. As you said, the speed that they're taking this down, it's gone.
Oh, it's a blink. Okay, this is all in.
I do like that.
This is
fighting time. I mean, yeah, Era's going to be throwing himself at the enemy. But it's obviously something that can really go both ways.
It's super scary. Yeah. It is super scary. You mess up, you're just going to get exploded. Like, we've seen what happens. And they look like they even want to fight into this with an Aegis on the Spectre, and I don't know about that. I think you might not want to do this.
I guess that's the problem with the timing on this blink as well. You've just got it. You want to try and find something with it before you reveal it in a lane, and it's going to be hard.
You can use it to pick though. The Darkseer synergy with the blink is really nice. So you have like the Ion Shell, you go in, you look for a
go on to Denzi. They're going to jump forward at the start of this one.
That was not the imprisonment.
And well, the Sunstrike will be off point. False promises there to save him, and with the heals, Dendy should be fine. They hold Kezu back. Dendy's going to be able to survive through this one. There's a Fiend's Grip onto DiG, and he has been left alone. Will get taken down once, but he's got the Aegis and he has got Horn.
Right.
So we'll see if Na'Vi want to try and come back into this one. With the Dragon Slave out, DiG trying to get power grab, but a great Doom straight away coming out from Yapzor. Perfect timing. Not allowing anything to come out from the man. No Haunt will save him. And Seneko, whoa, he's just, the hammer's been dropped on his head by Yapzor. And that's the second pick off for no Diggity. Great play there, just like that. Taking the Aegis out of Na'Vi's hands and finding 2 kills. One of those being that Spectre off the back of it. That's going to put no Diggity in a fantastic position.
Oh, this is great. He might even get Artstyle. Honestly, like Artstyle can't do anything against that. Okay, so
this is exactly what you want when you pick up a blink on Slug, just to start.
To get the blink and then have that kind of follow-up, the item just paid for itself like tenfold. Maybe, you know, you get a blink sometimes, you don't find the kills, but they just pursued. They knew that Na'Vi were going to be backing. They weren't looking to really pressure the tower. They just wanted to try to, you know, get a little bit of farm, control the map a bit. And they get punished for splitting up. Yeah. That's the one thing that Na'Vi can do that makes the Slark a lot easier to utilize at an early stage in the game when you're still susceptible to burst, is if you are alone, Slark will kill you. You want to group up against the fish. Small fish is terrifying when you're alone.
It is. It really is. I mean, I guess the question now is for Arrow. What does he go after the blink? Does he just go for the Skadi straight up next?
It really depends. I've seen a lot of Slarks go S and Y in like these really quick pace games. You know, it's just like that little bit of extra HP and mobility that you normally want Skadi because it's such a great stat item, but the build-up is pretty meh. We'll see what he does though. Skadi's still great, obviously.
Yeah, but obviously, as we were saying earlier, it is going to just be all down to Era's decision making. He can't go too YOLO because Na'Vi, they have a lot of catch. They you know, you slip up one dark pack, you jump in and start to walk away without it back up. They will have the control to hold you. I mean,
man, Slark Night Vision's carrying them so hard right now. He just walks over there and he sees them all, and obviously, like they can see him now because it's day, or they saw him for like a split second. But just abusing them, and the fact that they're not showing, he's gonna be like, yeah, they probably smoked or something because they were just all
disappeared.
There. Yeah. I mean, he still thinks they're there. Like, he's positioned so far back, they're just terrified. I mean, they're not going to anticipate this, though. I think
Yapzor looks to be the one to take the full brunt of this one. Raw straight out, and goodbye, Doom. I mean, there's a lot of damage from Na'Vi. They find a catch like that, and you're killing, you know, even the tankier heroes on the side of no Diggity and a tower, maybe to boot as well. Of course, that pushing power, very, very strong from this lineup with that Beastmaster. And it will be a tier 1 in the mid lane, taken for the side of Na'Vi, beginning to gain some ground.
But I mean, that's an example of what I was talking about when you have like a hero like Slark who's very execution heavy, and you make a mistake, like how fast Yapzor died. That happens to anyone on no Diggity. They just melt.
Yeah. It's, as you said, we saw it just happen there. Na'Vi, they've got that pick off. You've got to be careful. Denzi at the moment, was he still saving up God? I wonder if he's going to go for the blink on the ODR.
He's got 2K. He may, just because it's a nice setup. Yeah, it's a nice setup for the Lina, and it's also good for the Spectre as well. Beastmaster would follow up. There's like so many spells that you can just throw out. He doesn't necessarily need to be like the end-all be-all damage carry right now, because he has a really nice supporting cast for dealing damage as well.
And it is really nice, I feel, against Era as well, because Dark Pack, they're going to save you against a lot of spells, but you know, if you're able to get him an Astral during it and then find the follow-up stun,
it can be good and
great
bad.
catch.
The timing has to be pretty much either when you know he's cast it,
Yes.
or like as it's going off. If it's after that, you're actually helping him because his
Because
dark
then it's
pack
going to
will
come
be
back off
up.
again.
Yeah,
You've got to time it right.
The timing has to be very good because it's 4 seconds that you're down with imprisonment. So yeah, still anyone's game though, very close. I think that no Diggity, they probably got away with, you know, what they wanted, and the fact that Slark has had as good of a start as he has, you know, 130 CS. He does go back for the Yasha, so it's most likely going to be that SNY build.
Yeah, I think he's maybe looking to try and jump in. He's moving in. I mean, obviously worth noting as well, 18 minutes in, it's definitely not worth knocking the fact that this Beastmaster, he's got more fun than the Spectre. You know, with his level 3
got a book
necro,
3.
That's you know, that's really quite something. But the way that no Diggity are playing at the moment, grouping up as 5, makes it a little harder for General to really find an opening. He's going to still try for it here, coming with the wraparound. It's been revealed and throughout the action, but he's been doomed straight away. He's not going to get the chance to get out raw. Nice vacuum wall here onto 3. The depth of the Meteor flying through onto Na'Vi. They've already lost one. They're maybe going to lose a second. DiG duking out on the sidelines. Arrow jumping forward, looking for Suneko. They get a fair bit of damage out, so looks like the false promise won't be enough to save him, and it won't indeed. 3-4 dead.
That was really not the greatest execution.
Great reactions from Yapzor. Just no messing about, slapping that Doom down off the beast.
He had to have seen him. Like, he has Hawk Vision, it's daytime. I'm pretty sure you should be able to get that roar off before you get doomed. And the other thing is, the Lina instantly Lagunas the hero who already used his only threatening spell. And he didn't die. So it's like, he just wasted his Laguna on a hero who used Doom. And then after that, the fight's just instantly over. Like, there's no comeback. Like, sure, getting hit by the Meteor deafening didn't help matters, but you can see Rax is most likely going to be falling here. Oh, they're just backing out.
No, Gunner just heading straight into this one. I was tossing if you can find a pick and... Okay, Dendi will set up here with the Astral. They've managed to find Yapzor on the backlines, and they will get him. The rest of the side of the round. Yeah. And, I mean, melee Rax looked incredibly low. One more push if they can get that in quickly, and it will be gone. Etherland's now picked up by Singe. You've got a Blink Dagger for Kezu. And we've already seen, you know, hit a great vacuum wall there in that last fight. Now with this extra positioning item, he's really going to be able to go for it. An error. He's only about a few hundred gold away from that S&Y, if that is indeed what he's going to finish off there with the build. And having S&Y, Blink, Aquila, Trez 20 minutes in, it's going to be very hard for Na'Vi to deal with.
Yeah, it's insanely good farm. And I think the Blink pickup like worked out so well. It's really important to emphasize, I think, when you go for items like that and how much the item actually does in terms of going for kills and applying pressure to the map. Because Slark is, if executed well, extremely good in small-scale fights. And Na'Vi just got picked off at 2 really inopportune times. And the second one was they actually initiated the fight themselves. So no Diggity now.
Yeah. It's... I mean, it's as we said, you know, Na'Vi got great pickup, but hang on. General...
He's dead.
He's really giving it some to Error. I mean, Error actually going to get haunted on as well here, but I don't know if you go forward on this one. There's a full 5-man. It's essentially a haunt wasted there from Dichira. I think he saw Error drop low and thought, maybe I can go for this. He's got no mana.
Yeah, he might as well.
But
I mean, he's going to die anyway. You just use your spells. Just do a little bit of damage. Even if it's not going to be a kill. Oh, he's going back for the Scotty. He's not going to finish the SNY.
You don't think it's going to be Manta? For any reason? There's no reason for you think it's just casual Yasha more likely?
I think it's a casual Yasha.
I guess there's not a huge amount of reasons to get Manta this game.
It's always okay to like confuse people with the Manta and whatnot. Like it can help you like stop a roar cast or something if you time it like super well.
Juke out a light strike, juke out a Laguna if you're a real player.
You can do it.
Like Arrow, I'm sure is.
I mean, I had a couple of games where I phase shifted a Laguna, felt pretty good, you know? That's the dream. But nah, I think it'll probably just go back to the Scotty.
We'll see what he can do. Quakever still keeping up his own game here on the Invoker. He's got his axe done. It's, I mean, pretty much as we said, we've seen 2 great shows of Invoker. This time at the moment, a little less kills than we saw in the first game, but a cleaner performance, hasn't died at all. Quakever.
To be honest, I feel like Quakever's Invoker is better than Dendi's. Like,
whoa!
Sorry.
Oh, Andy going in.
Sorry. This is how I feel. I just watched the 2 players play the hero back to back.
I mean, yeah.
And I'm just saying, Quakever seems a little bit more solid to me.
Those Na'Vi fanboys aren't going to be happy.
He doesn't have like 6 points in a quas and meteors the second his tornado hits. You know what I mean?
I guess in that, the timing certainly today. Yeah, it's been a better show.
Yeah, I just mean today. I'm not saying like of all time.
No. But still, both performances have certainly been huge huge kind of elements into why the team has been at the point that they have. Top lane Na'Vi will be able to find themselves a tier 1. I mean, Na'Vi, I kind of feel that compared to game 1, they're not as out of it as no Diggity were at this point in game 1. They still have a chance now.
They can turn, but they're kind of running on a clock here, because if Era gets another item, you know, we talked about how the Slark's susceptibility to death is pretty much only during the early stages of the game.
Yeah. And
that's kind of rolling to a close soon, so it's like 25 minutes in. He finishes up the Scotty, he eventually gets, you know, maybe he feels so threatened that he wants to even buy BKB. He can do that, because he has a ton of damage as well. So, it's...
yeah,
kind of getting to a stage where Na'Vi want to try to do something, but they only have limited ways of playing the game. Their split push isn't really amazing. They can send the Spectre to a lane, but the problem with that...
Dondo.
There we go. He's fine. But the problem with split pushing in this game is Spectre. So you... hello?
You are doomed.
Alright, yeah,
so having a bit of fun with the bird on the cliff.
That's the king of the hill dude right there.
That bird!
Bird just got wrecked.
Vacuumed the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Great bit of animal abuse there from Keza.
Yeah, but no Diggity, they do have a decent amount of catch. You know, they got the double blink dagger on the invoker. Oh no, sorry, triple blink dagger. No, quad. Okay, I can count, I promise. It's 4 blink daggers. So yeah, they have a tremendous amount of catch, which is why it's scary for DiG to split push and why he's often seen hiding. Like even right now, he's just sitting in the freaking trees, just not wanting to get caught out.
Dichira, he's going to have the Manta style turn here now, but still quite a bit of catching up for him to do. It is going to be a tough one here for Na'Vi. No, Diggity certainly having a much better game here in this game. So, I mean, just look at the fact that Kezu more farm than the safe lane Spectre, and this is a Darkseer that was having to deal with the Oracle. I mean, you know, we talk about the fact that Oracle, yes, it can shut down Darkseer in the laning stage, but it's still a Darkseer. If you play it right, you're going to be able to catch up, and Kezu, he's given us a great performance.
Now we could see a teamfight break out here.
Oh, he comes in with a vacuum wall onto 3 in the vigil, and he drops in the pit too! God, Dendi in general. There will be a horde, but the Fierce Grip on Dark, now the Sunstrike as well. He's going to be kept alive here by the Pog Promise. Jabs are falling low, they will find one, and now Dichira with the Mantle Style doing a fair bit. They found themselves 2 kills, but now Dichira, he doesn't know what to do. He's low on life. It's a triple kill for Quaitha. He's going to try and look to turn it into an ultimate. Look at the TP out, will escape. But a fantastic fight in the Roshan pit there for no Diggity. The setup was there from Kezu, the follow-up from Quaitha. You talked about how his meteors have been absolutely on point, and they've been brilliant this game, each and every time, hitting 3 heroes minimum. And it does so much to Na'Vi in these team fights.
It like killed Dendi from 100%. He gets back into a wall, meteor deafening, dead. There's just nothing you can really do about that. But the coordination just seems really good between Kezu and Quake for this game. It's very impressive to watch. And I do feel like Na'Vi had a slightly better draft in my opinion, but I don't feel like this game is won solely on draft. I feel like no Diggity have just played a better Dota game. You know what I mean? Like the early game skirmishes, they always seem to favor them. Yapzor's rotations.
I spoke goodbye art stuff.
Yeah, this is the point in the game where the Slark starts to become a little bit too much.
A little out of control. I mean, he's reaching on enough money to buy that Skadi, indeed, as you said he would, on top of the Yasha.
He's got it in like what, 1500 or something?
Oh, less than that.
1400.
He's got the orb. He just
but
he
needs the point booster.
Yeah, 2k plus 1.2. It's like 3.2. He's got 3. Just 200 gold.
Oh yeah. You're right. I thought he had one less item for some reason. I don't know.
He's nearly got it done, and I mean, as you said earlier, once he gets that Skadi, I mean, Na'Vi, they're going to have a hell of a lot more issues than they have at the moment, and that is saying something. It's 16-8, 27 minutes in. No Diggity, just having a really strong game too.
Yeah, it kind of got out of the hand really fast for them, actually. Yeah. They had a pretty strong lane, honestly, in mid. Like, just the Lina sitting around, maybe soaking a bit too much from Dendi, but just trying to make sure that Quaitha didn't have a good start, realizing how important the Invoker is to these types of lineups where you need a hero to help create a little bit of space, because Doom is quite greedy and so is Slark. But as soon as they got their core items up and running, it was just non-stop engagements. And I really do think that one of the biggest turning points in the game is just when they're sitting mid as 5, Na'Vi, they just, they get that Roshan, and then they're like, okay, we're going to push mid, but we back off a bit. The second they split up, no Diggity just punished them so hard.
Oh, yeah.
They get the Aegis Carrier instantly, right? I think that first Roshan is so important for Na'Vi to just start to get map control, because no Diggity can just play it in such a a varied amount of ways. Like, they don't have to play just a fighting game. They can split push. They can, you know, go for the late game because they have Doom and Slark and Invoker. They don't have to end at any given point. But Na'Vi, I feel like their lineup, sure, you have the Spectre and you have OD, but I do feel like Slark is a really good matchup against OD, and I feel like Spectre, if you just doom that target and you kill the OD, like what does their team really do? That's kind of how I feel. Yeah, I feel like that's how it would usually play out in the late game. I suppose you can always rely on like the buyback haunt from Spectre, but even that is committing a lot to try to just win an engagement, so I feel like No Diggity's lineup, when it gets to this point, is a lot harder to deal with.
I mean, do you feel that we are just seeing why exactly Spectre can suffer in these pro games? The fact that teams can deal with it. It's never really been given the chance to get it, you know, a real kind of foot up in these team fights, because no Diggity, they've just pressured enough elsewhere across the map that too much for kind of Dichira to do on his own with the amount of farm that he's got at this point of the game.
Yeah, for sure. I think that Na'Vi wanted to be more 5-man oriented a lot earlier, to try to make sure that heroes like Slark don't get the time to get to this stage. So they wanted to try to pressure, and then they decided to go do something else, and they get punished twice.
He's ready to go, and look, they're surging him up. Alacrity on him, Iron Shell as well. He's ready to try and look for a jump in. He just heads in, starts on the rack. We'll jump onto Denny, but there we have it. The Astral to contain him. So they have to follow up. They do have a Roar. Actually, Channel is going to focus the onto Yapso now. Put him with a Horn as well. But the definitely blast. The Meteor Bunker. Denny's gone just like that. Arsenal pulling those with the backlines. General kept over the false promise, but they've already lost Snake. It's a triple kill for Error. Cinderin, he's helping them deal with Dichira. He's been duped up. It's a 4th kill. There's a buyback on both the Oracle and the Spectre. They want to try and do something. The rest of the side of Na'Vi can't get themselves back into this one, but Error, he's got 10, 11, give him a 12 for 13th stack here off the Essence Shift. He's found himself an ultra kill. It may just be a rampage. Dichira, he's hiding in the Ancient. He's trying to do his best to survive it, but the set up, the GG comes out. Error jumping in, looking for the glory. He's going to get a rampage for Error on the Slark. 9-1-9, 23-9. Na'Vi just getting shut the hell down. As what a game for no Diggity, especially to come back after game 1, which was a pretty brutal beatdown going the other way. Na'Vi on top in that match, but this time round it works out perfectly for no Diggity. And I mean, what can you say? You're seeing Quakefor on his Invoker, Error on his Slark, and Zindon, one of the heroes that you can play at a top level. It's going to be too much for Na'Vi.
Yeah, they just made all the right moves in the early game. Like no Diggity, we talked about